Okay, so you want to determine the equation of the line that goes through those 2 points. So we said if we had 2 points, we could figure out what the equation was, or at least what the line, where the line's going, right? Because it locks it down and it's going in that direction. The trick with this question is we didn't have the opportunity to selectively choose a nice point. Like we've got 2 kind of like ugly ones here, right? But they're on the line. So that's what we got to deal with, okay? So, and remember, our goal here with this question is to determine what the equation actually is. So it's y equals mx plus b is what we're trying to do. Now, if I looked up here, remember what I said, this question, right? All I need is 2 points, right? So in theory, with this question, I don't want you to do it this way, but in theory, if I went up to this grid, and I'll do these in like a green or something so we could definitely see what's going on. If I went and found the points 9 and positive 5. So I'm going to go out 9 to here, and then I'm going to go up to positive 5, and I'm going to plot that point. Okay? Then I'm going to plot the other one. This is me talking generally here. I'm not like, this isn't, I didn't include a grid down here because I don't want you to do it this way, but I'm just stepping you through visually what's going on. Okay? If I go and plot this point now, the negative 3, 9, I go find negative 3 here. We'll go down to positive 9. I go positive 9. Okay, I can connect those 2 dots, those 2 points, and they give me a line. So for our purposes, just to see if we're right or wrong, what you can do, just like the last question, what we did, the rise over run, we could figure out what the slope was. And I guess in theory, we could read the b value too. Because we could generally come up with what the y equals mx plus b equation form looks like from using the graph. Okay, what I want to show you at the bottom is the algebraic way to do it, okay, in the event that you didn't have a graph, okay, which is a little bit more powerful, okay. So we can come up with like what our answer would be from the picture. We could say, okay, well, our m value, m should be between these 2 points. We should go rise over run, so I'm going to count down from 9 down to 5, which is a difference of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So rise should be negative 4, or run, yeah. And then run should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So in theory, our slope should be negative 1/3. Right? Are we agree? That's just what we finished doing in the last question. Then we could also identify, okay, well, it crosses at about 8. So our b value would be 8. That's not the way I want you to do it. Okay. Because those points could get really ugly. And then, like, there's nothing saying that I can't do this. Give you 2 points that look like this. You're not going to do it. Good luck. You're not doing that method. You know what I mean? There's no way for you to find exactly what the m value would be by counting. By drawing those on a piece of grid paper and counting. There's no way you're doing that. Which is what I'm saying, the method I'm about to show you is a little bit more powerful. Because you can use those 2 numbers to do stuff. Okay, in the event that you had awkward points like that. Okay? So, here's what we're going to do. This is the form we're after. Okay? I'm going to write down, I would write this down, because I always come back to this. I haven't written it down in a while, so just give me a sec here. It's the slope is equal to the rise over the run. Okay, that we've written down. Rise is what we denote by a change in, so delta. So it's the change in delta This is me providing you with useful information for later. It's not necessarily, you're not going to necessarily write this in this course, but you will use delta at some point in time. Okay? Is the change in. Yeah.
Can you rewrite that as well by saying y2 minus y1 equals x2?
That's the next step. So all I'm doing is giving you one big line of equal statements. So if you ever see them, you're like, oh, this is the same thing as this, same thing as this, same thing as this. That's all I'm doing. So if you see these things, right? Delta can pop up wherever. It's the change in velocity if you've done that in science or whatever, right? Change in speed, sorry. Okay. So change in, that's going to be, a change is always you take the second one minus the first one. So it's going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now I think you guys may have done that in grade 9. Maybe. Okay. That's what you're going to use for this question. Okay. So you could in theory just write this, okay, if you want to. That's what we're going to use. Okay? Because I have 2 points. I have a x1 and a y1, and I have an x2 and a y2. Just got 2 points. And then you can just, here's x1, there's x1, there's y1, there's y1. You're just going to plug in the numbers now. I think you've done this in grade 9, the slope between 2 points. Okay? So, that's all you're going to do. So the slope here for this question, rise over run. So we're going to go, just going to plug in the information. 9 is the y2 minus y1. It's going to be 5 over x2, which is negative 3, minus 9, which is x1. Okay? So you're going to get 4 over negative 12, which should reduce to okay. What's cool with this question is I'm able to show you the connections between the two. Okay. But I can also show you the pitfalls in some of the other methods. Right? So if you have a decimal number that has 3 or 4 decimals on the end, you're not going to plot that and count the slope from that. It's not possible. That's what I'm saying is more powerful. Doesn't matter what the points are. You plug them in, get your slope. Okay? That takes care of that. Now, here's the one thing we haven't discussed today. I've been just dancing around it. We've done it, but we haven't talked about it. This comes up oodles amounts of times from this point forward. Like you wouldn't believe the number of times this comes up. And it's hard to flip the switch in your head. If I look at this graph again, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to highlight, I'm looking for the B value now, right? That's what we're about to do. The B value is where it crosses the y-axis. So my question is to you, what is the x value? So the left to right. What is the left to right value when we cross the y-axis? Just want that to sink in for a sec. So if I'm going from left to right, and I'm interested, here's my graph, it's doing something, it doesn't matter, it has to be a line. We're coming across here. I cross right here. What's the x value? On the yellow axis. What's the x value right here? 0. What did I tell you you could do with an x value? I know the slope now, right? So why don't I just rewrite this out here for a sec? Y equals negative 1/3 x plus b. In theory, you could do this with anything, actually. We could pick that point. What if you want to pick a different one? We could pick an easier one. Let's pick, all I need to do here, what I'm trying to do here is plug in a point, x and y, and solve for b. Doesn't matter what the point is, it just has to lie on the line. Right? The problem is I don't know what point to plug in. What should we do? Okay, what would happen if I plugged in one of the points they gave to me? Do you know? But you have values for x and y. What are we trying to find? B. So, yes, you're right. Okay, I see what you're saying. So, all we need is an x and y value to plug in. We know the problem with picking just what I was talking about, where it just random, we don't know where it crosses. So if you don't pick a point that lies on the line, it's not going to work. It doesn't give you anything useful because it doesn't lie on the line. Okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to pick a point that we know lies on the line. Well, what point do we know lies on the line? Either of these two. I can plug in the x and I can plug in the y, right? Doesn't matter which one. They're going to both lie on the line. So if I plug in from that point, let's do 9 and 5. 5 is the y value. Nine is the x value plus b. Now I'm able to solve for b. We're just going to do the math. So it's 5 is equal to, we're going to multiply fractions here. I can put anything I want over 1. Top times top, bottom times bottom. I get negative 9 over 3 plus b. Nine divided by 3, negative with a negative on it is negative 3 plus b. That must make b is equal to 8. Okay? Started going sideways there. So then you could write, well, we know what the b value was because we did it earlier, but we know we're right because we confirmed it 2 different ways. Right? So you could say y is equal to that is the equation of the line that goes through those 2 points. Okay, is that okay?